Man, I feel more relaxed than when Dan Dunn comes on. So kudos to you, my dear. Well, let's get into some news. The premier of the Canadian province of Quebec has announced that adult residents who refuse to get vaccinated against coronavirus will be charged a financial penalty. Premier Francois Legault said not getting vaccinated leads to consequences for the healthcare system, and not all Quebecers should have to pay for that. He said that levy will apply only to people who don't qualify for medical exemptions. He said about 10% of adults in Quebec are unvaccinated, but they represent about half of the intensive care patients. He didn't say what the penalty will be, but he did say it will be significant.
I was just thinking about this the other day, that it's so geographically weird that we're right in between Mexico and Canada. Mexico is just a fucking cage match, free for all. And Canada is more and more government and lockdown and rules. And it couldn't be, if Canada was next to Mexico, Mexico would get the bends. Like, we need us as a buffer to...
You'd have to go on a depressurization thing.
Yes,
before
we're like the depressurization between the wild west of Mexico and the new world Orwellian order that is Canada now. And it's just funny that it's like there's a huge chasm between those two places, and I feel like we're just straddling the middle here.
But it's kind of an interesting idea. And I know people will say, what about smokers? What about overweight people? But we're talking about that can all be spread out over many years and decades. But if we're talking about a pandemic that only exists in our time right now, I can see the idea of, all right, don't get vaccinated, but you're the one putting the stress on the system right now in the pandemic we're in. So you got to front load a little cash for that.
Yeah, I'm all for like personal accountability. I don't like the big government, but I like the part where you can't ask other people to pay for your decisions, although we do a lot of that around here. But I'm very mixed on this. I don't like the big government, the big hand of government. On the other hand, my feeling is like if you're going to tax the system and you're taking from the system, then no, I like living in a world where it's like, if you want to put a bond up or something and say, I'm not going to tax the system if I'm hospitalized. But the vaccines were wildly oversold to everybody. And that's now there's pushback, and that was a big problem. The vaccines were going to cure. You couldn't spread it. You were somehow
immune.
You're immune, or I never figured out the part where if you don't get vaccinated, you're dangerous to me who is vaccinated. It was a weird sell, but now seems like everyone's getting at least Omicron.
Yeah.
I'm done with it myself.
Well, I got some clarity on some stuff because I put my Adam Carolla brain on. And, when people are saying at the same time, oh, Omicron's mild, it's not that big of a deal, and the hospitals are overwhelmed. And I couldn't take that paradox anymore. I had to look into it because those messages made no sense to me. So if you want a little clarity on what that means, this is the clarity that I got from, I think I was listening to the New York Times news podcast. I think that was the one. So first of all, like we've talked about with COVID before, a lot of people are coming in for whatever, broken foot, diabetes, whatever, but you're tested when you get there. And oh, by the way, you also have COVID. So that's being
COVID is going to be like fecal matter and cocaine. You can rub any phone, any countertop, any object, and you're going to find trace amounts of something. You know,
when they on the hotel bedspread.
Yeah, God, I hope it's cocaine.
They do that thing where every time they rub something down, there's a little fecal matter on there. So we're going to find some COVID in almost everyone who gets rubbed down. And that's what happens when you go to the hospital. So
that's a big part of it. But then here's where it starts to make a lot more sense. COVID patients, from what I understand from, these reports, go into isolation. So where a room could have held 3 people, it now holds 1 person. So when they say, this hospital is equipped for 400 patients, but we can only house 100 patients. It's because everyone's in isolation. Plus, the staff is taxed, like physically, mentally. If they have COVID, they go home. So there's not enough staff to treat the patients. There's not enough room for all the patients. And oh, by the way, they happen to have COVID when they're there for whatever. So it's just it's like a bad Tetris of just a lot of bad little things. But I needed clarity on why are the hospitals overwhelmed if this is not a very aggressive strain in terms of symptoms.
I'm not completely down with the hospitals overwhelmed premise just because I've heard it for 22 months that the hospitals are overwhelmed. The hospitals are overwhelmed. The hospital, and they may be at some points, but as a general talking point, that was the big fear. We're going to overwhelm the hospitals. I haven't seen a lot of cases of it. It has happened, but it became this big talking point because hospitals being overwhelmed. I've talked to Dr. Drew about this. Hospitals have to, in order to maximize their profits, they kind of work on just as many people as they need to make a profit, but not more people than they need. So they're always at the edge of capacity all the time because that's how they make a profit. Now we have this whole thing with vax mandates and a lot of people going home. People are not wanting to return to work because of mandates. A lot of people testing positive. I've heard about them letting people that were positive come back to the hospital just because they needed the staff that much. But I'm overwhelmed by the hospitals being overwhelmed. That's what I'm saying.
That's what really matters. Well, you talked about Canada and Mexico. Can we talk about Canada versus New Mexico? Because I think it also makes the point. A New Mexico city has announced that it's preparing to install a baby box where infants can be surrendered just days after an 18-year-old mother was arrested for tossing her newborn in a dumpster. This specialized device will cost around $20,000 to install, $20,000, could be operating.
Baby box, good name for GSV.
Right. Well,
number one.
Not that I'm aware of, but you're right.
Long time ago.
This could happen in March. Alexis Avila, that's the woman. She's facing charges of attempted murder and child abuse when 3 Good Samaritans found the baby, and the baby is now in stable condition.
These people rifling through dumpsters in New Mexico, Good Samaritans or hobos looking for some free food? I don't know. They found a baby. They didn't yell no time for backup and start rappelling out of a window or not on my watch. If you saw her put it into the dumpster and you intervene, I'll give you the Good Samaritan status. If you happened along the dumpster an hour later and like, what have we here? An unmanned dumpster? Not a Good Samaritan. I guarantee these junkies aren't taxpayers. But okay.
It's fair. It's fair. So all 50 states have a safe haven law that allows newborns to be dropped off at, fire departments, police departments. But this baby box, I am very, very curious
$20,000. Does it is it warmed? It can sustain life?
That's what I want to know. Is it an incubator?
Is it like a mailbox? You have to check it every day.
And just
there's a baby here.
So that's where we're at.
It's a white flag.
Bad sign for a society that we've invented a box to discard our kids in. But thank God that box wasn't around when I was born.
Might not have the show.
What happened? He died in the baby box. What happened? He was suffocated by his sister. They piled his sister on top of him. He couldn't breathe. They need a 2-manner.
Just terrible luck.
That's right.
Double wide. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure you all saw this by now, but it is pretty interesting. It shows some real bro code friendship, and I have a video to go along with it. A short pass from Tom Brady to Rob Gronkowski late in the game Sunday only earned the Bucs 7 yards, but it put an extra $500,000 in Gronk's wallet. So they're up by 14 points with 6 minutes to go in the game against Carolina. Brady insisted on staying in, and now we know why. He wanted to make sure Gronk caught one more pass because there's an incentive in the tight end's contract that awards him another $500,000 if he hauled in 55 receptions. Gronk needed 7 receptions Sunday to earn the bonus. He got it. And here is a little video they put together, a little montage of Rob Rob reminding everyone sort of politely that this needs to happen and then thanking Tom afterwards.
Needs one more catch. Yeah, they're trying to pull Brady out.
If I remember correctly,
Do we have the
there were two
audio?
incentives he had in that game
one more.
for $1 million.
If I don't get the 7th catch, I have to go get a real job.
All we got to see is Gronkowski get his catch here.
$500,000.
Cha-ching. Gronkowski has his catch bonus.
Tom, good pass, dog.
Holding, number 76.
You just got a milli?
Yeah, I got a
You
million.
got a milli?
76.
Oh, $1 million, but not 500.
Well,
I think it was
it's a
two,
half.
It
It's
was
a
two
half.
incentives he hit
Yeah.
that day.
Oh, okay.
I think, if I read it correctly, it was like a catch and like a yardage thing or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So his boy hooked him up. That was nice. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I don't know how old these incentives are, but I feel like everyone has one now, and they used to have them, but you didn't hear about them all
You
the
never
time.
did. Yeah. They had him
And-
when I was a kid. I remember talking about it in baseball a lot, but they never talked about the broadcast. He needs to hit number 150 to hit, whatever.
Yeah, it seems personal. Gauche.
Indeed.
Yeah, but football's such a team sport. It seems weird to give individuals whatever, but that's how you motivate people. No doubt about it.
Do you have an opinion on like attacking or the bounty for defensive players?
Oh, with the Saints?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Bounty Gate or whatever we called it. What's it called? Bounty Gate?
Bounty Gate, uncreatively. I mean, that goes on with every team
Ryan
and
likes
every.
Gate.
I hate it so much. Every team and
Ryan.
every single defensive coordinator, I'm sure, has done that at some point. It's just this guy got hamstrung because he got caught.
Well, the thing is with all the crazy rules about leading with your helmet or defenseless receiver, whatever it is, you now have to coach everyone in a almost different direction now. So many hands to the
I was about to say,
head.
accidental hand swipes the face mask penalty.
Yeah.
I don't want to sway the conversation too far away from this, but before I forget, because I know you love a gate,
I don't.
I can give you the best gate of all time.
If it's about water
Hands
and they
down.
call it Watergate, I'm in. Or if it's about a gate and they call it Gate, I'm in. Otherwise, fuck it.
It will not be topped.
Okay.
In the scandal, in the days of the Jim and Tammy Faye Baker scandal, it was called Pearlygate.
That's actually really good. That's actually
that
really
too.
solid. I don't mind that at all.
Cannot be topped.
No.
Only if Elon Musk got into trouble and called it Elongate.
Oh, that would be great.
That's his joke. I gotta get
Or
Elon,
Bill
you're-
Gatesgate.
You're talking.
That's Elon's joke?
Elon tweeted that, I don't know, a year ago. Like, if I ever got caught up in a scandal, please call it Elongate.
Wow.
Honestly, pretty good.
I wonder if he's got a squire, guy punching up his stuff. I mean, if a guy's got that kind of cash, you can get half the guys in Hollywood for 40
true.
grand a
Yeah,
year
punch
just
up.
Ross.
to be on call to punch up your shit. All right, let's do one more, Gina Gran.
Good. Let's go back to Canada real quick because this happened earlier in the week and I really wanted to get to it. A Canadian politician is getting a lot of negative attention after he tweeted a tribute to his hardworking wife. What could possibly be the problem? Well, Manitoba Cabinet Minister John Reyes posted this photo of his wife shoveling snow off their large driveway after working a 12-hour shift at the hospital where she's a nurse. He clearly took the photo from inside what was probably a warm, cozy house. We have the picture. The caption read, "Even after a 12-hour night shift at the hospital last night, my wife still has the energy to shovel the driveway. God bless her and all our frontliners. Time to make her some breakfast."
Bad optics.
So while he meant it to be the sweet tribute, people had a fucking field day scolding him for being inside his cozy, warm house and watching this poor woman in a Manitoba winter shovel the driveway after a 12-hour shift as a nurse.
Well, all you have to do is kind of flip the script in order to wonder whether you should be outraged or not. So if it was a woman who said, my husband worked a 12-hour shift at the fire department or something, and then or was a nurse or whatever, and he came home and he still has the energy to shovel the driveway, I'm going to make him breakfast. She would have then gotten shit for making him breakfast. So you don't
being
need to make him
subservient.
breakfast. Let him get his own breakfast. So look, if you want total fucking even playing field and equality and everything else, then we must just flip the script. And if you flip the script and you weren't agitated by it, if it was the dude out there shoveling, then we cannot be agitated by the woman out there shoveling.
This is the equivalent to the Applebee's commercial that you love so much. The nurse who picks up the food while the dad's at home dancing with the kids. Oh, honey, you get baby back tomorrow.
Find that commercial. That bitch gets up at 5:30 in the morning and takes the dog for a half a marathon, jog, then goes and works her double shift.
12 hours in the fucking ER.
Then he's like texting her, what are we doing for dinner? Like, where are you picking up? And then she comes home and he's just doing the Macarena with his fucking kids. And she gets the Applebee's salad and he gets the double baconator. Who is this guy? Who is this woman?
He's a king.
Ugh. She does so much.
I know.
Yeah, we'll let
Screw
Chris
her.
see if we can find that somewhere. I don't know where it is.
While he finds that, actually, since you mentioned the Baconator, do you want me to filibuster for a second?
Sure.
For Chris?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So a couple menu items. First of all, I remember if Christy's still involved with Taco Bell.
Hold on a second. Did this guy apologize for his tweet? Or how did he respond?
I don't have it, but I think it's safe to assume. It's not like he said, fuck you guys, let her shovel.
Yeah.
I'm sure he
makes
didn't
her
say
happy.
that.
I like this woman. I really do.
She's got a motor. All right. Well, while he's looking for that, Taco Bell's adding chicken wings, so look for that. Also, beefy melt burrito, though not to be confused with the Bell Beefer. But Arby's is doubling down. They have something called a Diablo Double Dare because apparently people want spicy fast food. Very spicy. So here's the deal. It's chicken or roast beef with ghost pepper jack cheese, fiery hot seasoning, fire roasted jalapenos, and Diablo barbecue sauce. But in case that doesn't drive home the point enough, the bun is bright red. And they are throwing in a free vanilla shake for all of you who are down with the Diablo Double Dare. Not to be confused with the Double Down from KFC.
I don't like when the food turns into a frat initiation.
challenge.
You know what I mean? Like, I just want to fucking enjoy myself. The whole reason I'm eating is because I want to sit down and enjoy myself. I don't want a rock wall challenge. Can you handle it?
Hold on, I got this, guys. Didn't she do hot ones?
Absolutely. I wasn't planning on sitting down and enjoying myself.
I know.
Yeah, that wasn't lunch. That was a game. That was a dare.
Yeah, I learned a lot about myself doing hot ones, which is people are like, what about the next day on the toilet, or what about the ride home? I was like, I ate whatever on the Scoville scale, 10 million on the Scoville scale, slathered hot sauce. And when we were done taping and I was driving home 10 minutes later, if you would have asked me what I did and I didn't know, I would have no idea. There was no remnant taste. Nice. There was no effect. There was no gurgling of the stomach. There was no the next day on the commode. That's when you pay the fiddler. It was just nothing. I just ate them and went home.
You're an anomaly.
You haven't tested me to like grapefruit? Because everyone loves grapefruit.
We love
except me.
grapefruit. All right, we have the commercial. Sorry. Go ahead. Applebee's 3 years ago. I saw this commercial. It drove me nuts. Commercials shouldn't anger me as much as they do, but they do.
Mm-hmm.
She gets up in the morning, 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Dog
Takes
is
the dog for
dragging
a
her.
walk, takes care of the family, takes a
Peloton.
spin
Goes to
class,
Spin class.
hugs all the people of color at work,
Dry
picks
cleaning.
up the dry cleaning.
Run,
Gets the text from the husband.
Run
wants
around
food. That's right. Picks up the Applebee's. Walks through the door. He's doing the Macarena with the kids. She adores him, and now she eats a fucking salad. Blah.
treat yourself, honey.
This campaign is called Supermom.
Yeah. Blah. All right, let's bring it
Indeed.
home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Oh, yeah.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Well, last but not least, there's Lucy. We're all adults. Some of us use nicotine to relax. This may be, after the hypnotizing Dawson, the direction to go. You want to focus, you want to unwind after a long day. Lucy, nicotine, gum, lozenges, and pouches for adults who are looking for the best, most responsible way to consume their nicotine. It's a new year. Start off by switching to a new nicotine product that you can feel good about. Stuff is top shelf, high quality, and again, if you're going on a long flight, you want a little nicotine, or you want to just relax, or you want to quit smoking, you go with Lucy. If you enjoy using nicotine, you should definitely check out Lucy.co. That is Lucy.co. Use the promo code Adam at checkout. Am I right, Dawson?
I have to read this disclaimer. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Remember, if you're interested in a better way to use nicotine, visit lucy.co and be sure to use that promo code Adam.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Chris Jones. Let's see. Let me give you a plug. Website. HypnotistChrisJones.com is where you go. And Twitter, Instagram at One World.
One word, CJ.
Oh, sorry. One word.
Only cool thing I have at this is the Beverly Arts Center. And that's January 22nd. Otherwise, HypnotistChrisJones.com.
And Tracy Beckman and Danny Heller as well. And until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Tracy and Danny and Chris and Gina involved. Say it. Mahalo.
Period. Good. Yes?
No.
Damn it. What do we have?
Now.
You can...
No! Ha! The first word.
Oh, wow. The first word is good.
Big as day.
Wow. Wow. Crazy.
What did you say? What did you
I
say?
said now. I started on the next paragraph.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the first
Yeah,
word
the
I
very
could
first
see.
word. Yeah.
You can watch us on our YouTube page.